Hi, I'm Dan Cabal, and I teach one of the Bible fellowship groups here at Ninth and O Baptist Church, the best Bible fellowship group, if you ask me. Not due to my teaching, but because of the people. This is Devotionables, brief devotionals for busy people. Today we're looking at the book of Psalms, chapter 4. In the fourth psalm, we see David talking very personally with God. You know, I think David struggled with insomnia sometimes. I think he struggled with falling asleep or staying asleep. And I hear from so many people that the older you get, the worse that becomes. With David, I'm not sure that it was just because he was getting older, but because his life had so much stress. Not only when he was the king, but when he was a shepherd and sleeping out in the wild with his sheep and being attacked by wolves and bears and whatnot. But the reason I think David probably did struggle with sleeplessness is because he mentions sleep in Psalm chapter 1, Psalm 3, and here in Psalm 4. Let's look at what Psalm 4 actually says. David says, "Answer me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Be gracious to me and hear my prayer. O sons of men, how long will my honor become a reproach? Will you love what's worthless and aim at deception? Selah. But know that the Lord has set apart the godly man for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. Tremble and don't sin. Meditate in your heart upon your bed and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and trust in the Lord." Many are saying, "Who will show us good? Lift up the light of your countenance upon us, O Lord. You've put gladness in my heart more than when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me to dwell in safety." Well, quite the little adventure there, huh? You know, David has gone from distress at the beginning of the psalm to committing to going to sleep at the very end. David explains to the Lord that David feels upset, that David wants God to hear him. We don't know why David's so upset, what particular incident it was in his life, but I think that's on purpose. David wanted to give us something that we could use when we're upset, when other people may oppose us, when it feels like my reputation is a literal joke. Like people hear my name and are like, "Oh, what a goofball." Now that's actually true for me personally, but you don't want to be, your name as an insult. David says a couple of things here that I think might help you get some better sleep sometimes, if you remember to do it. A couple of nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and forgot all the stuff that I'm telling you, and so I just lay there. Not my best moment, but that's human nature sometimes. David says to trust in the Lord. That's one of the things that when you wake up in the night and you've got something on your mind or your heart, you can pray. And not only can you pray, you can also meditate. Yes, a Southern Baptist minister telling you can meditate. But biblical meditation is thinking about the Bible, thinking about what God has said. So if you have some memory verses, ruminate on them. Just marinate on those verses, and you'll be doing meditation. By the end of this psalm, David is able to say that he is genuinely more glad than when unsaved people are at harvest time. In other words, like it's their payday. They are getting the new food, the new alcoholic drinks, and they're happy. But David is more glad than that because he knows the Lord's going to come through for him. And once he's realized that the Lord's coming through for him, he knows it's going to be okay. In closing, How can you do what you need to do without knowing what you need to know? When you wake up in the middle of the night and you've kind of forgotten what you need to know, you're going to have trouble doing what you need to do, which is get some sleep. So know what you need to know by meditating on God's Word, and then you'll be able to do what you need to do. This is another Devotionable. Thank you for having joined us today. Have a great week.